If you're watching this, it means that our video just won. And that I can tell the future.
It's definitely been a lot weirder this year.
So to ensure the rovers were ready, we had to put them through rigorous testing.
Last year when we were at Kennedy Space Center, one of the things that the team did was sit down and make a list of all the changes they wanted to make for this year.
The difference between this year and last year is pretty night and day, because last year we first got this platform and for the most part the team was new. Nobody knew what to do. Nobody knew how to do it. As the person that was going to take over as leader of the Swarm team this year, I had a very strong idea about what we needed to do, where we needed to go, and so I was able to organize our time a lot better, and we just brought more organization to the code, and we brought more organization to the program.
The team members like hanging out with each other. They're spending a lot more time in the lab working together and getting along. We have a very diverse group on our team, and it's been fantastic to see them come together and solve a problem. There have been a lot more inside jokes, a lot more laughing in the lab. Work is getting done, of course, but I think the team has really come together this year.
One of my goals this year was to rewrite the underlying structure in a way that was easy and simple for everybody to deal with, and I think we really did that. We reduced sort of the state machine to 4 major functions that people would have to write per state, and that allowed most people to make easy, quick changes and allowed them to grasp the system pretty quickly.
I think the biggest challenge of Swarmathon this year was the transition going from the simulation into real life, because a lot of what we thought was going to happen actually did not. So we had to go back, make revisions to code, change variables in order just to make it work.
I've been working on the obstacle avoidance, which is very important this year because there are actually going to be obstacles in the arena. So it's very important that our rovers can efficiently avoid all the obstacles. You got to make sure that they can't get stuck or into any sort of logic loops where they just keep running to the same obstacle or the same corner over and over again.
I worked on a thing called Tag Examiner, and essentially what that does is it's a way for the rovers to quantify the information that was being received from the camera. And essentially what that allows us to do is take the string of information entering the camera and make it more graphical, so we can plot out where each cube, and we can determine what angle or how much the rover needs to turn in order to drop it off successfully at the home base.
I think what we have now is going to perform pretty well. Obviously there are still places, I think probably a lot of teams are the same with us, are sort of really down to the wire, because it's a lot. This competition is a lot to juggle. One of the big successes, I think, is for me personally, it's just we're going to be way better than last year. Well, last year we had a grant from NC Space Grant, so we didn't have to do any fundraising. That was our fundraising. We got that pretty early on, so we didn't have to have any sort of infrastructure for raising money. We didn't have any practice, and this year that's not something we went for. So again, we started in with no infrastructure in place to do fundraising. We did some outreach in the local community where we sort of did a presentation at a brewery, and we got proceeds and we got tips while we were there, and we raised a lot of money through a GoFundMe account where we sold raffle tickets to the person that won got to cut off my hair, and we raised over $2,000 for that.
We ready?
Yes, we're ready.
Oh, it's a lot. Oh, it's a lot. That's a lot. There it is.
We got creative with our fundraising this year, and it really paid off. It was very rewarding.
We outreach to homeschoolers across Durham, and we also outreach to various Girl Scout groups across Durham also. So the Girl Scouts range from age about 8 to as old as 12. And so it was a really diverse group. Girls are highly underrepresented in the STEM field. And so we felt it was really important to get them into the STEM field and to just realize their full potential and all the different activities that they could be a part of if they ever decided to pursue a career in STEM or even as a hobby. So what we did was we first did an obstacle course, and this obstacle course was fairly simple, or so we thought, and the girls had 10 commands and they could only use those commands, and they got forward, back, left, right, all for free. And then so some girls even went as far as to create victory dances for us to do at the end of it, and they had us hopping and jumping over different obstacles, but they were very engaging. And so that means that they followed us even as we went through the obstacle course, left, right, up, and down. They're very interactive with the robots, even though they couldn't touch them. And so and that helped them to get the foundation of what algorithms are and learning the importance of having a very versatile list of commands. They all enjoyed having to exercise their minds in a way that they probably hadn't before or were not able to fully understand before.
I know the students really want to win the competition at Kennedy, but in my book, we've already won. The Programmabulls did such a good job this year, and I'm so proud of them, the way they came together as a team and worked really hard to complete all of their goals. It was a really successful year for our team, and I'm really proud of all the work that they've done.
The day we rock the world.